Welcome back. I am so excited to be joined by Timothy Simons, who plays everyone's favorite character to insult Jonah Ryan on Veep.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on, Timothy. I'm such a huge fan of the show.
Oh, thanks.
And you talked a lot about being the butt of a lot of jokes on the show. Fans call you Jolly Green Jizz Face, Jonad, many more. So I have to wonder, do your castmates go out of their way to be like, hey, like, how are you doing after they insult you all the time on set?
No, honestly, they don't. And in this moment, I'm realizing that maybe they should have been. They've actually made no effort to make me feel better about this at all. There was one insult I remember from, like, season 5 where somebody just mentions, like, I think, it was like Shawnee, the woman who plays my fiance last season. Like, we hooked up, and I only have one testicle because I had testicular cancer, and I asked her if that was weird, and she was like, honestly, no, it was the hips. And I was like, oh, that one played into, like, some real seventh grade fears about yourself.
Yeah.
And nobody made me feel better about any of it at any time.
See, I feel like they're just insulting you all day. I feel like afterwards I'd be like, hey, buddy, you know I really like you.
No, you'd think. And now, I've always said that we were such a close cast, and now I'm really going to question that.
It's like that tweet about the group chat last week. Like, maybe, like, they're all talking about you behind your back. I mean, I don't want to, like, do any sort of things.
There's a group chat?
I don't know. There was I'm referencing a tweet from last week.
They're probably all on the Today Show right now, and I don't know about it. This is great.
Well, I didn't want to bring all of this up, but let's move on. Let's move on.
You know why I'm here? Fuck Tony Hale. That's what I came here to say. Tony Hale's a piece of shit. I'm going to go into this camera. Tony Hale, Tony Hale, I dislike you immensely, and I'm glad I finally get to say it. There you go.
This is why our viewers tune into AM to DM and on the Today Show.
For the grudges?
For the grudges.
I actually really love Tony Hale. He's a wonderful person. I can't even keep that bit going. He's like a truly wonderful human being. I'm very sorry. I'm stepping on my own bit.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, obviously, Jonah is the most hated member of the cast on Veep. And so you're watching Veep, and you have to be like, okay, this is probably something that all the characters are based on real people, right? So who do you think is the Jonah Ryan of this administration?
They're fucking all Jonah Ryans. They are all like talentless and classless and just unbelievably unintelligent and people with no integrity. That is top to bottom the administration. Just put them all in one big pile, and they're all the worst people you've ever met. I know that's not, I wish I could pick out one. I don't know, Jared Kushner. I don't know.
See,
that guy sucks.
I could see a Jared Kushner. Did you have any inspiration for the character, like a real life person that you try to draw on, someone in politics?
No, not any one person in particular, because at that time you could, well, not any one person in particular. It was mostly just like kind of like the general sense that like people in DC were really just concerned, and a lot of like lower level staffers just concerned with their proximity to power. There was this thing that happened in the first couple seasons that during the Obama administration, every single person that worked in any way with the campaign or the administration, they would change their Facebook photos. Like there would be a picture of Obama, and then they would find the one in Getty Images where they were in the background, and then they would make that their profile photo. So I just kind of based it on that idea. There wasn't really any. I know that the writers had one person from the Obama administration in mind. I found out who that was, and I will never say who it is, just because who wants to have their entire life blown up like that? So I'm not ever going to say it. But they had one guy, but I never met that guy. So I didn't really base it on one person in particular.
I would love to know who it is. Maybe you can tell me after the show. Well, speaking of the Obama administration, we had Reed Scott on.
Wouldn't it be great if that was still happening, the Obama administration?
Right. Reed actually said last week on the show that he didn't think that Veep could even get off the ground today because the whole point was that it was such a satirical look at government, but it only worked because we were in a relatively normal administration in a relatively normal time in politics. And now, if someone tried to pitch Veep, it'd be like, that's Tuesday. Do you think that's true?
No, I do think that there is something to it. Also, I wonder if like people would be interested in it, only in the fact that we're so inundated, not only with, well, like, I don't know. It's all a lot less funny now. This is like a very sincere answer. Like, I don't really find politics particularly funny outside of work now. Like, because there is such a human cost to everything that's happening. So it's really hard for me to like wake up and see some sort of terrible thing that's happening and be like, oh, I have a solid joke about that. Like, I don't know. So, but also, like, it's just like you can't outdo it. You can't outdo it. And even if you did, like, the depths of cruelty you'd have to go to outdo it is pretty ridiculous.
I feel like watching Veep is almost like an escape from the current political climate at this point. It's like, if only our only worry was one of the random things that Selena's getting into, like having to sit and coach and not Trump constant bullshit.
I wish, I mean, like, if we were still just worried about tan suits, that'd be amazing. But no, like, somehow our show has become aspirational. Like, we become like an aspirational and like a sort of well-meaning group of people.
We want Jonah Ryan to actually be president.
Yeah. Although you haven't seen the rest of this season, he really goes off the rails.
Well, you're really outspoken on Twitter about your political beliefs. Do you feel more empowered because you're a part of this political show, or is that something you've always been interested in?
It's something I've generally been interested in, but I think I've learned a little bit more about it now. And I don't know, there is also that thing where I'm like, also, I'm on a show about politics, which I think leads people to believe that I know more about it than I actually do. And then also, like, being outspoken on Twitter kind of sucks because Twitter enables a bunch of white supremacists and anti-vaxxers. So now I'm really even questioning if that's like a good place to be. So this is on Twitter, right?
This is on Twitter.
Okay, cool.
But you know what? We speak the truth here. We speak truth to power.
Jack, if you're listening, please get the white supremacists off Twitter.
That would be a good thing.
Also, just the anti-vaxxers while you're there, too. So, I don't know. I was interested in it before, and I'm much more interested in it now. I feel like again, like, when it comes to, like, the congressional, like, some people ask me about trade partnerships, and I'm like, they will ask me personally if I know, like, what's your take on that? I'm like, I don't have a take on trade partnerships. That's way outside of what I know.
I don't even know if Jonah would have a take on trade partnerships.
No, yeah, he would know even less than I would, and he's running for president.
Exactly. Okay, well, before you go, I want to play a little game with you, and we played it with your co-star, Reed Scott. Are you ready?
Okay.
It's called Who the Veep? Okay, so we're going to have a 10-second timer on the screen, and you have to name as many vice presidents as you possibly can. And if you want to beat Reed, he only did 3. So it should be pretty easy to beat.
Okay.
Ready?
Wait, has it started?
Okay, no. Ready, go.
Okay, so currently Mike Pence, Joe Biden, before that Dick Cheney, and then all the way back to the beginning, John Adams. He was the first vice president, right?
You did it!
Oh, nice.
You got 4.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, so that's now the score to beat.
That's 4? Okay, that's
4 is the score to beat.
Anna's going to come in here, and in 10 seconds, she's going to get 9 of them. I would actually put money on that. Anna has actually studied.
Well, Timberly, thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited for the final season of Veep. It is airing Sunday nights on HBO.